Tear down the wall. No borders at all. Pack the Supreme Court and overturn any legislation. Abolish the Senate. Confiscate all guns. Repeal the Second Amendment and monopolize government violence by arming the National Guard. Does this sound like democracy, freedom, or patriot values to anyone? Would you believe that this is actually coffee talk and ideology of the Pentagon? Well, I have proof. We have proof right here. We have actual footage, breaking news that should disturb and concern every red-blooded American. Mainstream news can show it if they want to, but I doubt you will see a hint of it there. We'll show it here. So like and subscribe, and go ahead and download it if you want, because it might not be up for long. Who knows? When you hear of deep state or the swamp, these are the non-elected people who work in federal government and usually agencies with the 3 letters in the name, like FBI, DOJ, CIA, well, DOD, you get the point. Well, these are the players that we're going to show you here who move the scales of freedom and justice from one side to the next, and they're meant to empower the government and strip the people from power. So now you are going to see, this is rare actual footage that was taken by the guerrilla journalist and CEO of OMG, O'Keefe Media Group. This is James O'Keefe. He went undercover as a gay man on a date with Jason Beck, an associate director of Total Force Requirements Sourcing Policy, Office of Secretary of Defense, who works in the Pentagon. This is mind-blowing. Roll the tape.
Hack the Supreme Court.
You have all the power to solve the world issues.
Court reform, you need to get a majority on the court so that they can stop the legislation.
He told us he writes the answers for high-level officials at congressional posture hearings.
Oh, you actually write the answers for the congressional questions and stuff?
Yeah. When we're talking about posture hearings, it's usually very high level. Universal health care, we could start there. Abolishing the Senate. Gosh, there's so many things that you could do. I do have the classified stuff, but that I can't talk about.
Oh, you're turning me on already. I can neither confirm nor deny. Made you dinner, some rose petals here. I'm a little bit of a romantic, so. Would you mind untying it for me?
First off, I cannot emphasize enough the need for people to be praying for this man and OMG and the staff and all them. God keep them safe. I can only imagine the target this man has on his head. Secondly, to what extreme would you go to yourself to uncover the hidden agendas that want to redefine and reshape your freedoms for you and your family, your children, and their mothers and brothers and sisters? This man is going to extremes. I mean, I love my country, but give me a Nerf gun and put me on the front line against a battalion of terrorists before I go to these extremes. Sir O'Keefe, we salute you.
Cheers.
Jason Beck, Associate Director, Total Force Requirements and Sourcing Policy, Office of the Secretary of Defense in the Pentagon, articulates his extreme policy views, including confiscating all guns, abolishing the Senate, tearing down the border wall, opening the border, removing the Electoral College, and establishing a state monopoly on violence.
Universal health care, we could start there. Repealing the Second Amendment for sure. Abolishing the Senate. Gosh, there's so many things that you could do.
Says he would like to work on a monopoly on violence, which, according to Britannica, is a concept that the state alone has the right to use or authorize the use of physical force. Beck describes it as, quote, "We, the government, are the only ones with guns."
I would like to do some work on the state's monopoly on violence.
On the what?
The state's monopoly on violence.
State's monopoly, what is that?
A monopoly on violence. Sure, that sounds great because we trust people like you to have guns to protect us from people like you, Sir Beck. Wait, what? Concerning, is it not? I mean, these views are not just Beck's views. These are the standard universal views among DC bureaucrats. This is their typical coffee shop chat. And these are the topics that they discuss during happy hour with each other. Do you remember just a few months ago, the 2 staff members who filmed themselves having sex in the Senate committee hearing room? The mindset agenda to this is disturbing. It's crazy. It's careless. And wouldn't you even say it's dangerous for America? I was going to say it's deeply concerning, but maybe not the words we want to hear or see mentally at this moment, right?
It's the idea that the state, meaning the country, is the only sort of legitimate purveyor of violence and coercive force. We're the only ones with guns, right?
Going back to your topic, it's like the state should be the only one that has access to these sorts of firearms, essentially.
Yeah.
We, the government, should repeal the Second Amendment and take all the guns away, unquote.
Man, they always shout Second Amendment, Second Amendment.
I think we should repeal it and take them all away.
Take all the guns away. Laugh out loud at that, ladies and gentlemen. The Constitution clearly states that the people need the right to bear arms due to the tyrannical government that might want to come and take away the right to bear arms, or your free speech, or the rights for any individual under the Constitution that we have. And the reasons why we have the Second Amendment is to deal with people who think like this guy. Just my opinion, but what say you?
Whatever, just take them all. Gosh, there's so many things that you could do.
On guns, particularly, would just be repeal it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we have a need for it.
Jason Beck says you just have to take the guns, up to and including mobilization of the National Guard.
How do we deal with these crazy people, though? Like, they don't want to give them up.
You have to take them.
So what would be like a federal solution?
But I wonder if you would see a similar solution to like school integration.
Yeah.
You know, where they did have to mobilize the National Guard. How many people in the National Guard, maybe were personally opposed to integration, but still followed orders and made it happen?
Hopefully they would have to follow the orders.
Right.
Because that's what they'd have to do.
Right. Yeah, if it's a lawfully given order.
Correct. First step, though, we got to somehow get people on that court. I don't know how that's going to happen.
We need to pack the court.
You have all the power to solve the world issues.
Court reform.
Court reform.
Yeah. So we're going to pack the court for it first.
We're going to pack the court.
Yep. We need to get a majority on the court so that they can stop the legislation.
We need to pack the court.
Yeah.
I mean, the recent immigration bill fiasco was almost unbelievable. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's really racist. Just lots of that talk about like border security, that kind of nonsense.
Yes. Yeah, border security. What does that even mean?
It doesn't mean anything. It's just like throwing money in people at a problem that doesn't really exist. The only crisis is one that we've created. It's a humanitarian crisis, but it's not a security crisis.
And if anybody wants to come in, they can come in.
I don't see why not, frankly.
Yeah.
Like, why do we need quotas?
Yeah.
Why not just have an open border? There's no Taliban coming in through Mexico. Like, they just make that stuff out of whole cloth,
Yeah.
Like, when has a terrorist ever come in?
If you are smart enough, you will know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am.
I can talk about the problems and the real life concerns of open borders for an hour. I know that you all watching are well versed, probably, and I'll say nothing that you don't already know, hopefully. So I'll keep it short and just say this one point and we'll keep it going. One of the biggest problems I've noticed was that the money that was being used, or even more so, could be more used in the area of American minorities and underserved people are being neglected. Period. There's a million more reasons I can give you for needing the borders to be closed, but chime in below with what you think about open borders for everyone. I mean, let's keep this thing going.
Yeah, like, tear down the wall.
Yeah.
Why do we need a wall? I mean, it's stupid and it doesn't work anyway.
Yeah.
And it's disruptive environmentally.
Yeah.
And it just makes it harder for people, you know, like people die in the desert.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we letting that happen? That doesn't
Yeah.
have to happen. Stop border construction, stop wall construction. Tear it down, I think. Reverse the wall. Stop deploying troops. It's unnecessary. You have to get rid of Title 42, which is the like immigration statutory stuff that Trump did. That all needs to go.
They do have the classified stuff that I can't talk about.
Oh, you're turning me on already. I can neither confirm nor deny.
After all that, and O'Keefe puts flowers on the floor and asks him to undo his apron. The man reveals that he got bottom surgery.
So I had bottom surgery.
Bottom surgery?
Yeah.
What happened?
What do you mean?
Your bottom surgery.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes. Yes. Understood.
It's not like a huge deal. It just, it's just painful.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's something that you wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A while.
Yeah. I can't say that I've had that done, but
I didn't do any bottom surgery or anything like that. How does that work? Like if we were to be physical, intimate, I've never been with someone who has had the procedure. The plumbing's different.
What's that? Well, he got whacked. He got whacked. I mean, he got whacked because he is whacked. This whole thing is whacked, isn't it? I mean, what is going on behind closed doors and its agenda of the deep state and the future of America, who is also trying to impose this on the world, on Africa, in China, and in places in Europe, in Russia. They're trying to impose this in India. They're trying to impose it in Jamaica, and you name it, they're trying to impose it. So do you think we need to get rid of the deep state, drain the swamp, and get back to basics? Let me know below. And I just want to, once again, give James O'Keefe of OMG a big thank you, sir, for your service. And I better do my right hand. I might get some people mad at me. Big thank you, sir, for your service, James O'Keefe. And we at the Speak and See Show are praying for you, your family, and your amazing staff. Stay free. We love you all. Like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless.